The high-octane, adrenaline-packed action of Formula One came back this weekend with the Bahrain Grand Prix. With the season off and running, it's the perfect time to talk about which drivers are likely to impress us with their performance on the track. So, stick around as we rank every F1 driver on the grid and talk about other headlines in the racing world. First, we have Max Verstappen. The 24-year-old world champion for Red Bull Racing, Max Verstappen, is definitely one of the top contenders for the title. Regardless of the controversial call in the final race last year in Abu Dhabi, Verstappen was still one of the most consistent drivers, going toe-to-toe with the seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton throughout the 2021 season. Debuting at the tender age of 17, he was always extremely talented, with predictions already being made about him being a future champion. Max doesn't settle for anything less than a podium, and with his driving ability and a car that's been performing like Red Bull's, he's definitely on the top of our list for the 2022 season. Next, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton will definitely be out for blood this season. The seven-time world champion was denied a record 8th championship last year in Abu Dhabi after a brilliant run throughout the season. The British race driver has been at the top of his game for a long time now, getting to an insane 103 wins and 103 poles with his last season, including 183 podium finishes. You cannot count him out of the running for a championship. That is insane. Now we have Charles Leclerc. Ferrari looks incredibly competitive this season. With their brilliant driver pairing of Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, it seems like things are finally falling into place for the Scuderia. Leclerc, their star driver, who seemed to be struggling in the previous seasons, seemed pretty confident with the new car during preseason testing, saying that it was the smoothest preparations he had made for a season. Will Ferrari be able to turn things around this season and break their 14-year curse? Let's hope so. Up next, Lando Norris. The McLaren driver, Lando Norris, will be the key for the team to secure a good spot in the Constructors' Championship. The 22-year-old British driver has won 4 podiums with the team, as well as a pole position, and got an extension in his contract till 2025. He's got a pretty impressive record and will only want to add to it more this season. And now we have Carlos Sainz. The second Ferrari driver, Sainz deserves 5th in the rankings with his 4 podium finishes last season. Sainz is in his second season with Ferrari after he left McLaren at the end of the 2020 season. The Spaniard driver will definitely be looking to make his mark this season and add to his tally, especially with how strong Ferrari looks. Next on the list is Daniel Ricciardo. The Aussie driver Daniel Ricciardo is famous for his late-breaking maneuvers and that infectious smile of his. The McLaren driver had a tough season with the new car after moving over from Renault last year. He finished the 2021 rankings in 8th spot, 2 places behind his teammate Lando Norris. Even with his struggles early on, he pulled through with a win in Monza, along with Norris, who was second, giving the team their first Grand Prix win since 2012. Up next, George Russell. George Russell is probably one of the biggest emerging talents in Formula One right now. Having started his junior career with Mercedes Academy, he debuted in F1 with Williams Racing in 2019, outperforming both his teammates Robert Kubica and Nicholas Latifi in the 2020 and 2021 seasons. The rookie driver showed his talents throughout the season, with the highlight being his podium finish in the Belgian Grand Prix in 2021. Recognizing his potential, Mercedes signed Russell for the 2022 season in place of the Finnish driver Valtteri Bottas. Now Russell is looking to make his mark with the team this season. Now we have Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly has been having an amazing run the past couple of seasons with AlphaTauri. The young Frenchman was promoted to Red Bull in 2019 after Ricciardo left, but had a tough time in the car and was demoted back to Toro Rosso, now AlphaTauri, just after 12 races. But this setback didn't discourage the Frenchman, as he showcased just how good he was with a podium in Brazil and his first win in Monza in 2020. Then again in 2021, he gathered 110 points in the season and will probably be looking to do the same this time around. Up next, Fernando Alonso. Alonso returned to F1 last year to drive for the Alpine Renault team. The 2-time world champion is definitely not someone you want to mess with. He might not be the fastest driver around, but is one of the most experienced on the racetrack. His iconic battle against Hamilton last year in Hungary allowed his teammate Esteban Ocon his first Grand Prix victory. The Spaniard hasn't won since 2013, but who knows, with his experience, maybe he can turn things around this season. Next is Valtteri Bottas. After driving alongside Hamilton for 5 seasons in the Mercedes, Bottas was let go by the team for George Russell. The Finnish driver has now found a new home with Alfa Romeo and will be looking to make a point this season. And now, Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez got a seat in Red Bull for the 2021 season after his incredible win in the Sakir Grand Prix in 2020. It was Checo's maiden win, and things only went up for him in 2021 with another win in Baku, and an overall amazing season that helped Red Bull go neck and neck with Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. championship. He's also proved time and again that he's the perfect driving mate for Verstappen. With how he held Hamilton back in Abu Dhabi last season, the Mexican driver definitely isn't done and would only be looking to improve his game this season. Next, Sebastian Vettel. The four-time world champion and the youngest world champion in F1, Sebastian Vettel is known for one thing: his speed. After leaving Ferrari at the end of 2020, he now races for Aston Martin. Getting a podium for second place in Azerbaijan last season, the German driver now sets his eyes on the grid to prove that even at 34, he's a force to be reckoned with. Next up is Esteban Ocon. Getting his maiden victory on the circuit in Hungary last season, the doe-eyed Frenchman would be optimistic about his chances this season. Racing for the Alpine F1 team alongside veteran Fernando Alonso, Ocon would want to get a good start this season as a gift to his parents, who made huge sacrifices to kickstart his karting career. And now, Alex Albon. Alex Albon was brought in place of Pierre Gasly in the middle of the 2019 season. After serving a full season in 2020 with on and off performances, he was kept as reserve driver for Red Bull last year. Now, he has joined Williams Racing in George Russell's place and will be searching for his breakout moment in the season. Up next, Lance Stroll. The son of billionaire Lawrence Stroll is not to be underestimated. Starting out his career at 23 with Williams, the Canadian driver has proven again and again with his speed and talent that he deserves his place on the grid. He drives for Aston Martin and finished 13th last year, right behind his wingman, Sebastian Vettel. Now we have Yuki Tsunoda. The young driver hailing from Japan races for AlphaTauri alongside Pierre Gasly. The hot-headed 21-year-old is known for his raw speed, crashes, and meltdowns over the radio. The kid definitely has a lot of potential, shown with his fourth-place finish in Abu Dhabi, and wants to improve his fitness, believing that to be his weak point. Next, Kevin Magnussen. The Danish driver Magnussen makes his return to F1 to replace the Russian driver Nikita Mazepin. Racing for Haas from 2017 to 2020, he rejoins the team after quitting F1 and has already made headlines with a stellar run in the Bahrain testing for this season. Now we have Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher, the son of the seven-time world champion Michael Schumacher, is still looking to score his first points. Now driving with a better car and under the wing of the vastly experienced Magnussen, the F2 2020 champion will definitely be out for points this season. And then Nicholas Latifi. Canadian driver Nicholas Latifi throughout last season remained under the shadow of his teammate George Russell. Now with Russell in Red Bull, the Williams driver would be holding on to the hope that it's his time to shine. Lastly, Zhou Guanyu. Making his debut in Formula One, Zhou Guanyu is definitely the underdog of underdogs this season. The Chinese racing driver will be alongside the ex-Mercedes man Valtteri Bottas, hunting for his first points in Formula One. And that's a wrap for this video. So what are your rankings for the season of F1? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And we'll see you in the next one.